Rockstar is essentially just useless, and you're going to need an airboat or very specific off-road vehicles. It's a design choice that will give the map a great sense of scale and force you to step out of the fast cars and into the rugged terrain of the Grassrivers. Moving on from the wildlife and the swamp in general, let's talk about the laws of the area. Because Rockstar's built an entire faction specifically for gators, and it seems this region as well. Enter POACH. POACH, and that stands for Protection of Animals and Controlled Hunting. This appears to be Rockstar's parody of real-world state conservation enforcement, and based on the official footage that we have, POACH doesn't appear to just be a passive logo on a billboard. It seems that they are a fully active, aggressive law enforcement faction within the world, and we can see that in some of the pictures and trailer footage that we have. They've got their own dedicated vehicle fleets, with squad trucks, tactical airboats, and aviation units. And if you commit a crime out here, you might not just be dealing with your standard cops, but rather a specialized task force that knows exactly how to navigate the swampy terrain. They even have their own in-universe social media presence as well, posting warnings to stay alert for uninvited guests before pool parties, where you can see they're pulling a gator out of a pool. But if you look beneath just the surface, Rockstar's official description for the region says that gators are the famous danger out there. However, they also say there are far deadlier predators and weirder discoveries hiding in the swamps. I think that this deadlier predator they're referring to is definitely humans that are running stuff in the swamps. Like, for example, take this frame for example. That's not a wildlife rescue. This is a black market smuggling operation in progress. POACH exists to give the Grassrivers flavor and support illicit underground economies that have absolutely nothing to do with Vice City or the Leonida Keys smuggling or those typical crimes. This is a different, local, gritty, backwoods animal trafficking sort of thing. I think this is reasonable speculation given what we have from Rockstar. And to be clear, we don't know the exact gameplay loop here. We don't know if there's going to be POACH missions yourself or if you can interrupt these. But from what we've seen, it does seem like something that could be in the game. The Grassrivers is essentially going to be GTA 6's version of Sandy Shores. It's that dedicated rural area where all the city rules basically go out of the window, except instead of being in a desert this time, now it's going to be in a swamp. And this is also where the map shifts from being just the pretty nature backdrop to being more of a massive mechanical sandbox. Every major territory in this game appears to be getting its own unique culture, and that applies to their vehicles as well. Vice City has the neon and the supercars, the Keys have deep sea boats and smuggling cars, and the Grassrivers is going to belong to mud and off-roading. For example, the car you see on the screen right now is the 67 Vapid Dominator buggy. Now, Rockstar confirmed that this is an Ultimate Edition vehicle, and it's built to handle off-road terrain, which would include swamps. It's not just the car that we're getting. It links directly to a property bonus called Paradise Garage, located out in a spot called Watson Bay. And that garage actually has real gameplay utility. You get a personal weapon locker and a physical stash box to drop off your illegal goods to be fenced. And that Watson Bay appears to be close to the Grassrivers according to the community mapping project, but again, that's just speculation and nothing confirmed from Rockstar. And that leads me right into the next point, which is the other big off-roading spot that was confirmed with the Ultimate Edition, which is One-Eyed Willie's. This is the official off-road custom mod shop where you go for specific off-road needs, just like this custom green truck that we can see. And according to Rockstar, this is located on Lake Leonida. Now, Lake Leonida is not directly inside the Grassrivers. It appears to be a little further north, but close and adjacent to the Grassrivers. So this will probably be a spot that we frequent given the muddy, swampy terrain of the Grassrivers. And it proves that the rural side of GTA 6 isn't just going to be one big boring block of swamp and trees. Rockstar is dividing the state into all these distinct macrobiomes, whether it's the swamp or the country mountains of Mount Calaga. Obviously there's the city, and then there's the Leonida Keys as well. Each of these behave differently, have different terrain, and look differently. And when you connect all the regions together, they form a massive connected off-road ecosystem. And we know that this type of muddy culture is fully integrated into the game from footage we've seen of Trailer 1, where they showed us the Thrillbilly Mud Club. It appears to be a named faction based on the real-world Florida mud clubs, where thousands of people, and they'll take their trucks and ATVs and such and go mudding. Now, Rockstar could have left the swamp completely flat and empty with not much to do, but instead they gave it its own unique culture and lifestyle and activities to do. So let's take a quick step back for just a second, because when we look at all this specific detail in the region, it can be easy to lose perspective on the sheer scale of the map of GTA 6. Everything that I've spent the last few minutes showing you, from the POACH enforcement to the black market alligator smuggling to the mud clubs to the off-road stuff, all of that is existing within the Grassrivers. And that's just one region out of the 6 territories that Rockstar's officially confirmed, which consisted of Vice City, the Keys, the Grassrivers, Mount Calaga, Port Gellhorn, and Ambrosia. 6 massive, distinct zones. So the fact that they built a localized area that's this swamp that's deeply detailed and mechanically rich, when it might honestly end up being one of the more geographically less populated regions on the entire map, that kind of tells you the scale that we can expect with this game. And look at this shot right here. As you can see, it's a town on the water on stilts with a tiny dock, maybe some local shops and dive bars. And notice how far away the Vice City city skyline is in the background. It's so distant that it barely registers on the horizon. And I think that specific atmosphere captures kind of the philosophy behind the Grassrivers. This region is not going to be this like densely packed area like some of the other regions might be. It's not going to have storefronts and places to rob every 5 feet or crowds of pedestrians, whatever. It's intentionally sparse and less populated. But that doesn't mean empty. To me, the Grassrivers are where GTA 6 will stop feeling like a city game and start feeling more like an exploration game. For example, take Red Dead Redemption 2. That game taught us that when we're traveling through those massive quiet stretches of wilderness and we see that smoke in the air or a cabin, sitting in the middle of nowhere, we're kind of inclined to go, what's there, like who lives there, what can we see there, and go explore that location. And that to me is where the sparse population of the Grassrivers will really make exploration meaningful. Every isolated shack, dock, hunting camp, whatever we find out there immediately raises questions and it makes us want to go explore it. And that to me is the true value of the Grassrivers. It uses isolation as a gameplay mechanic to make exploration feel much more rewarding and give that wilderness sort of angle that Vice City won't have. You don't need overwhelming density when every single structure is earning your curiosity by just existing there, you know what I mean? It forces you into like grounded exploration where you want to intentionally spend free roam sessions just exploring the region and letting your curiosity do the work instead of chasing a checklist of things to do and map markers. Remember how I mentioned earlier the warning about far deadlier predators hiding in the swamp? This is where that line might start to pay off. So let's look at this group, for example. This isn't a family vacation, and these aren't tourists taking photos for their socials. These are people who live, work, and bleed in the swamp. Let's look at some of the details here. You can see high-powered rifles resting casually against their legs, beer bottles scattered about, and a massive kill already secured on the deck of the airboat.